Warren G. Harding's administration sought to undo the progressive policies of Wilson and favored the laissez-faire approach in reducing government regulation to big businesses. Harding appointed Andrew Mellon as Secretary of Treasury, and this was full of corruption. As a president, many viewed him as a terrible one. He saw himself as neither a caretaker nor as a leader. He just avoided issues whenever possible. Harding left decision-making to his close friends, which was a big mistake. He partied and gambled late at night. The biggest scandal was the Teapot Scandal. Harding's Secretary of Interior, Albert Fall, took oil reserves intended for the Navy, but took them for himself. Eventually, Harding died of a heart attack in office. Soon after, Calvin Coolidge became president. Coolidge was much more calm and followed the rules, and was not like Harding, who was a hard party type. He continued Harding's policy of lowering taxes and giving incentives to big businesses, and also cut the federal budget to reduce national debt. Many farmers had an extremely hard time keeping their land as the prices of their goods fell. Labor unions demanded higher wages and better working conditions. African Americans in the South faced Jim Crow discrimination laws. In the Southwest, Mexican Americans faced shamefully low wages. The U.S. played an increasing role in trade and international affairs. All nations wanted to prevent another world war. World leaders agreed to reduce construction of large warships at the Washington National Disarmament Conference. Soon there will be a split between urban cities and rural farmland. Urban America enjoyed new consumer products and leisure activities, and were more receptive to social change and science. Rural America did not have access to the consumer products and the leisure of the cities. They embraced traditional views of religion, science, and culture. Religious fundamentalism grew. It was an emphasis on Protestant teachings and belief that the Bible is the literal and absolute truth. A growing number of Christians were upset at what they saw as secular trends in religion and culture. This was strong in rural areas. Teaching the theory of evolution was illegal in Tennessee. John Scopes, a biology teacher, was arrested for teaching evolution. In 1925, the case went into trial and became a worldwide story. Scopes was found guilty and fined. It showcased a major cultural and religious divide. Immigration became stricter, and on the eve of World War I, Congress passed a law requiring immigrants to take a literacy test. If immigrants could not read or write their own language, they could not enter the U.S. There was also the revival of the Ku Klux Klan. The Klan targeted Jews, Catholics, immigrants, and labor unions. The Klan now expanded from the South to the West, Midwest, and Northeast to 4 to 5 million members. The National Origins Act established a quota, the number of immigrants of a given nationality each year. This quota could not exceed 2% of the number of people of that nationality living in the U.S. in 1890, and favored the Anglo-Saxon Protestant, Western European immigrants. For prohibition and crime, the temperance movement was strong in much of the 1800s. By 1917, 75% of Americans lived in, quote, dry counties that banned liquor. World War I increased the call for temperance. Soldiers needed wheat and barley for bread. It seemed unpatriotic to use wheat and barley for alcohol. The 18th Amendment to the Constitution, ratified in 1919 by the states, forbid the manufacture, distribution, or sale of alcohol anywhere in the U.S. Rural votes helped pass this amendment. Congress passed the Volstead Act, a law that officially enforced the amendment. Prohibitionists called, quote, dries, said would improve society and strengthen families. Alcoholism and liver disease declined during Prohibition. The 21st Amendment to the U.S., the Constitution, is ratified, repealing the 18th Amendment and bringing an end to the era of national prohibition of alcohol in America. Several states outlawed the manufacture or sale of alcohol within their own borders. After World War I, in the 1920s, America was in the middle of an economic boom. Everything looked prosperous. Coolidge's comrade secretary, Herbert Hoover, was elected president in 1928. Along with this came the Great Depression, and there were many causes to it. 1/4 of the American workforce were farmers. They could not sell their crop surpluses, and were also in huge debt for purchasing mechanized equipment, and did not have enough cash to buy new consumer goods. They lived on credit, which was borrowing money, and this caused rural depression. and wealth was distributed unevenly. The long bull market of the 1920s was fueled by the prosperity and economic boom enjoyed in the Roaring Twenties that led to consumerism in America, easy credit, and increased debt. Stockbrokers encouraged the practice of buying stocks, on margin, meaning buying stocks with loan money. Mass production in America now had a standardized nationwide culture. Everyone listened to the same songs, learned the same dances, and shared the same popular culture. In the 1890s, Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi developed the radio. The first radio station, KDKA, established in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1920. Within 3 years, 600 licensed radio stations and more than 600,000 radio sets came out. Along with this, the phonograph brought the birth of pop music for the masses. Many began to learn the fashionable dances like the foxtrot and Charleston.